Hello, hello. This is Kristina, your host today. Hello, everyone in the world. And today is a new episode of KSM Podcast, Growing Business Online with Kristina. And I'm super honored and I'm super happy to have my special guest speaker, Lady Trish Rock. Trish, welcome to the KSM Podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Kristina, and thank you for having me on your amazing podcast. And hello, everybody.
Hello again. And I know that you're so far away. I'm Europe. You're so far away. You're in Australia. And can you tell us a little bit about you and introduce yourself and tell us a bit about you and what you do?
Sure. Okay, so my name's Trish Rock, as you know. I'm an author. I'm also a coach and a mentor and a psychic as well, and I do energy work. And I've had a pretty interesting, varied kind of life, I guess. I started off in nail salons, so doing fingernails, and I owned salons for quite some time, maybe 28 years that career was. And it was in that career that I realized that I was really good at helping people. So they'd come in to have their nails done, but they'd actually leave feeling better about themselves and about their life. And so I knew I had this gift in helping people change their perceptions so that they could move past those blocks in their life and have the courage to really create the life that they wanted. In 2009, I just really felt like a big change. That industry wasn't lighting my fire anymore. So I had a change, and I left that. I sold my business, and I learned website marketing, website development. I learned a whole lot of online stuff because I wanted to work online, not face to face with people. And in that time, I wrote my first book and created my first program, which was for the nail salon industry, which was really great. And that went globally across the globe, which was wonderful, helping people. And then I really wanted to get totally out of that salon environment, and I became an app developer. So I was helping people create apps for their small business, so cafes, salons, restaurants, coaching businesses, that sort of thing. But really, and that was fun as well, because I'm very creative. And it enabled me to do writing and all of that. But really, over the last 10 years, what I've really understood is that all of those things that I've been drawn to have just been the next step in me really realizing what my purpose is and what my passion here is. And while I've benefited from all of those things, and I know a lot of things about a lot of things, it's now at the point where I wrote my book, and I published my book in March, and I'm very clear now on who I am and how I help people. And you know, when you find that clarity, life becomes a lot more fun, and you know, less of the worry and more of the doing what you love. And that's what I really love to help people with as well.
And congratulations for your writing a book. And so we are really in the right place, because podcast Growing Business Online with Kristina is just dedicated and focused on entrepreneurs who wanted to build and grow their business online. And from my perspective, I run still my team for the web and graphic design 13 years. And this is how I started my coaching part 5 years ago, just work with people all around the globe. And I'm also co-author of the book Global Women in Business, which is fantastic. And I'm super happy to have you today in the podcast. And yeah, and your background sounds interesting, and And you do something. What is the coaching part of your business? What you do now? And what triggered you to do as a coach in terms that you like to help people, and we're here to support each other, and I like really to help people, but also can you share with us, and just for listeners who will listen to the podcast, just would be inspired by your story?
Yes, yeah. I think I've always coached people in a certain way. Every time I'm helping them with something, whether it's something to do with their business or helping them online with some things, or helping them in their own life to get clarity on who they are and where they're going. So it took me, and this will really help people listening who want to help people in this way or in their own way, but haven't got the support around them or don't feel the courage yet to really put their hand up and say, this is who I am. Because all of those other businesses that I did were coaching, but I didn't stand up and name it until, the last handful of years where I really have said, this is who I am and this is what I do, and I don't need to hide behind something else to do what I love doing. And it takes courage to do that, because sometimes you haven't got support around you, or you might have family or friends around you that just want you to stay the same, and they don't want you to advance your career or advance your personal development, because where would they be if you changed? So I think it's about having the courage to really ask yourself, what brings me joy, and how can I do that in a way that earns an income and helps people? And I think having an online presence is amazing. And, one of the things back in 2010, when I was starting, when I was creating my first course, all of my intention was global. So everything was global. There was nothing, I'll just create this for the local business, right? Everything was like, no, this is great for everyone. Let's just get it out there. And I think that is something that if you can have the courage to do that, it expands your business and opens you up to so many amazing people across the world that you would never normally have met. So I would highly encourage people to do that. So,
and Trish, as you said, that sometimes our families, they don't, and members of family, they don't understand what we do, as you said, and they always just been on one line. And as we need to just step out, sometimes we don't know where, but we need courage to step into it, like with this podcast or something like that. Yes. And it's say that they don't want to move from their comfort zone, which we're here, we do this, but the point is, from my perspective and experience, that you need only one person to understand what you do. But thankful to this such a global place, we can still, we really have an opportunity to find some and meet some people who resonate with us and who are on the same vibration, to understand our intention and our motivation to change things in our life.
I absolutely agree. And, I highly encourage my clients, if they've got some dreams or goals, not to tell everybody, because that's when people start bringing fear into the picture. Find that one person that is really going to back you, that is really going to say, hey, I'm so excited for you. I can't wait till your first podcast comes out, or I can't wait till your first book comes out, or I can't wait till you start that business. Find that one person. And if you don't have that one person in your life, find that support in spirit, because it's there too, right? We're never alone. And you've really got to back yourself and kind of go, well, I haven't really got much support in this next thing that I want to do, but my heart's saying that it's me and I want to do it. So I'm going to back myself and I'm going to take the first step. And I always find in my own life, and you've probably found this in yours too, that as soon as I just say yes to that first step, the others all line up. And what happens a lot of the times with the people that I see is, let's take a podcast, for instance. They're like, oh, I really want to make a podcast. And then they get 20 steps ahead and they're like, oh, and it really scares them because, oh, I can't do that because they're 20 steps ahead. But if they just go to the first step, right, what would I call it? What would it be about? Like, and just take those little steps. It ultimately all just lines up and there's less fear. And so, yeah, I think if you're inspired to do something, if your soul and your heart is calling you to do something, just take that first step, whether it's researching, whether it's writing down some stuff, draw a picture of it, imagine it. That's the first step, and that will lead you to all of the opportunities that will appear.
And as you said, sometimes when we create something new and do that first, or did that first step, just get back and see. And sometimes I can recognize that I was doing that. Because, as you said, take first step, take second step, and you just love that. I'm heart-centered oriented entrepreneur, and I really love networking, and I really like connection. And this is amazing, you know. And I met amazing, you know, entrepreneurs, males, females, all around the globe. And this is absolutely, but what, as you said, what is from your heart, you don't have to think about a lot. Just move forward and learn from people and connect with them, you know. And
yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing you can do for support. If there's something you really want to do, just Google it or go to social media, find a group where everybody's doing that, and then you are around people that are like-minded and that they will support you. And there's so many groups out there, isn't there, for networking. And but you know, I will say this: choose the group that you feel good in. Don't just go and join a group because someone says to, right? Go if you feel good in that and you feel like you're supported and you're getting to be around people that are similar to you, then that's what you're looking for. That's what
this is a nice place when you can answer some question or position yourself in terms to answer on that you can help them from your expertise. And people really, and I really get many connection, a lot, just on that way, just when I'm in some groups, see some and do comments just in terms to answer questions, or if you ask question, people will get back there without obligation to connect with you, and immediately sometimes send you friend requests, and your step forward in terms to get new friend. Not say friend, but some maybe partner or in business or whatever.
Collaborations. And in the beginning, it's just really lovely to have that like-minded support, especially if you don't have it with your family or your friends. It's good to have that place where you can say, hey, I'm creating this, and for people to be really excited for you and lift you up. Or
just ask them, what do you think about this? I have idea about product, service. As you said, we have, especially with people who have ideas and they wanted to, or there are people who are in stock. They have business idea, but they don't know how to start. And I think that they need to engage coach or mentor or someone else who will guide them and help this person to move into this business.
Exactly, because we all have different qualities. Like, I'm a creator. I just love creating things. So, you know, if someone's talking to me about their ideas, I can see it immediately and can see the potential of it. But there are other things like setting different things up or implementing or marketing that, you know, are not my expertise. So, yeah, I think being in those networking groups, you can really tune in and tap into all sorts of knowledge that will not only help you move forward, but it will give you the courage to take those next steps. Yeah.
And sometimes those groups could help you to discover your skills, which you don't know that you have.
Absolutely.
And this is from, I experienced that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I've seen you in your group and networking, and, you really love it. Which is why you connect so easily with people. So,
Yeah,
so kudos to you for being out there helping so many people.
Yeah, and I connected many people in Australia, for example, and especially ladies, entrepreneurs, they drank coffee together, but I have never been there. Maybe one day I will visit. And because Australia is a country of my dream, to be honest. And I would love to move.
You'll have to come. You'll have to come. You've got plenty of places to stay.
Maybe we will do some retreat, who knows, in person, or some conferences. And Trish, I read on your website that you are peace coach, something like that. Can you tell us a little bit about, this is one question, the other, you're on your podcast.
Yes.
And can you share with us your experience and in terms of coaching, who do you mostly coach as a peace coach, and also a little bit about your podcast?
Sure. I've called myself a peace coach just because ultimately that's the end result people feel after they've had a session with me. It was the same back when I was 17, when I first started in the nail industry, and it's the same now. No matter what people come to me with to get help on, whether it's their personal life, relationships, business, health, a new idea, courage, I help them find the peace within them for the present moment, because if you're in fear of the past, or if you're in anxiety of the future, it's very difficult to have that clarity on, well, what is it that I want? So I call myself a peace coach because I really help people find that peace within them, so that then they can make really empowered decisions about what they want in their life, not a decision from fear, a decision from peace and self-love. And I also call myself a peace coach because I created a 5-step process, which is my book, which is called The Peace Process. So it all just kind of ties in with that. And that 5-step process is also about finding inner peace with whatever it is that you're battling with. And my podcast, I started that about 4 years ago, and actually I did start another 2 podcasts actually back in 2014. One was for meditations, and one was for, I needed a platform to speak, because we all have ideas. And I wanted to speak them.
This is so true.
And I just wanted to speak them. So I started a podcast back then. It was very tricky back then because you had to be all hooked up with iTunes and had to be hooked up to your blog. And it was really hard to get it up and running back then. And it wasn't available on Android and all the rest of it. Anyway, a few years back, I started another one, and I've done over 100 amazing interviews with incredible people like yourself, and in the spiritual world, and in the business world. And that's another one of my passions, is interviewing people. I just love it. And I can see you love it as well. So I did that for a few years, and then I needed a break from it. And I've just done some talks on there as well as interviews. But I found this one, when I set this one up, was really easy to set up. It's all very streamlined now, and you just need something to say and a microphone. It's as easy, and a computer.
Yeah, it's really easy to set up your podcast, and
easy as that. And I just found that it was really good. I mean, you reach the people that want to hear your message, and I just feel like it's a really great way to get your message out there to different audiences. So yeah, anyone wanting to start a podcast, definitely I would encourage that and say go for it. Yeah.
And so what is so curious that companies also run their podcast, especially SEOs or managers, or just to to be out there, that their potential customers could hear their voice and about their business, about the service products. Depends, is it based company, service-based or product-based company, and other things.
Absolutely. People like to hear your voice and your energy behind the voice, and it always comes across a bit differently than writing something. So I feel it's important. You can connect to people. They could read something that you've written, but if they can hear what you've written, then they can really have that heart connection with you. So
yeah, and they wanted to hear your voice, to see your body language, to
yes,
connect that written piece, article with you as a human being, you know, and to connect on that level.
absolutely. And it kind of, you know, and in the coaching field, it kind of gives them an opportunity to kind of say, well, would I want to work with that person? And it gives them the opportunity to really see, you know, your authenticity and the person behind the name.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, and I was really, for me, I started this podcast. It was Pro Entrepreneur Day 4 years ago, and I really
Wow.
was shy. I was running one group with my partner from Australia, and she always asked me, Kristina, why don't you pop up, why in front of camera? And I was creating 21-day challenge, social media management, and digital marketing plan strategy. And I saw that I'm much more passionate about speaking than writing. And in that time, I creating 15 videos and hosted 4 entrepreneurs. It was lovely.
Wow.
And this is how my podcast started. And I've done 4 per month. And sometimes it was exhausted,
Yes.
And then I've done rebranding this year, and just Kaizen Podcast Growing Business Online, which is so specifically for people today, which is dedicated and focused on entrepreneurs who wanted to run online business, maybe who are in offline space, but we all need to be heard. We all need for our audience to hear our voice.
I agree. Absolutely. And yeah, and we need to be online. And I think a couple of years ago, a lot of the offline businesses realized that. And there's more and more people. I remember, back in 2018, 2019, it was still difficult for me to have clients come online to do a Skype, but back then it was Skype, because they were just so intimidated by the whole online presence. And so I still did a lot of phone call consultations. But after 2020, and people had to communicate online, everybody became a bit more comfortable with it, and which was great. And a lot of businesses got set up online then as well. So I think anybody starting any type of business, whether it is a product-based business or a podcast or a service, you have to be online, and I would highly recommend being global.
Yeah, and
Yes.
starting my team 2010, so I'm 13 years online, and for me it was because maybe I'm visionary a little bit, and I was like, I would love to sit down here and travel all around the world in front of my computer, which is so true. And for me it was okay, I don't care, and it was time to encourage other people to work online and help them to move into that space, which
Absolutely.
is so true. This is our reality. We live.
Yes, it is. It is. And now you've done that online, you can come and tour in person
and met amazing people.
Retreats.
When you cannot imagine, thankful to technology, that you will meet amazing. I can never met you in terms thankful to connection who we know, common connection, and then move into the space to have you today as my special guest speaker.
Absolutely.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And we met through Vanessa at Holistic Bliss magazine, and it's just a place, like many of the other places online, where you just meet really like-minded, amazing people. And very grateful.
Yeah, and this is some beautiful referral when you
Yes.
know, as I said, common connection together and there are many opportunities to do some common projects or collaborate. We always have one little piece to start with something, let's say with this podcast or whatever maybe. And you said that you work online, that you work globally. And can you tell us who are your clients? Let's say an ideal client, but who do you mostly serve in terms to and help as your clients?
Yes, mostly the people that come and see me are people who are wanting change in their life and they're ready. They're at a crossroads, whether they've been divorced, they're empty nesters, change of career, they're kind of, 40s, 50s, 60s. They've had a certain life up to then, and then all of a sudden they find themselves, I need to change something here. I'm ready to live my life now. I've lived as the kid's mother, or I've lived as a wife, or I've lived as somebody else's employee. It's time for change. And they come to me for direction, for clarity, and I show them their possibilities. Because that's the other thing. Sometimes we have these ideas, but we don't believe it's possible for us. We believe it might be possible for someone, but not for us. So that's who I help. And usually they're ready for change. They just need to believe in themselves.
You work with women and men as well.
I work with women and men. Yes.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I like to help everybody. And yeah, I mean, I have some young people coming as well who are also at crossroads, but mostly it's around about that age bracket. And
how listeners could find your book? Is it on Amazon, or just can you tell us a little bit about how listeners can reach out to you, to your website and on social media?
Of course. So my website is trishrock.com, and it'll be all in your description, I imagine. Trishrock.com, and you can find out about the book and about everything I do there. And the book is on Amazon as well. If you just search Trish Rock or The Peace Process, it will come up. If you live in Australia and you're watching this and you want to order a book, I can sign a copy for you, so you can just order through the website on that one. Yeah, so pretty much everything's there. And on social media, you can just find me at Trish Rock. I've got a couple of groups and pages. I've got a group called The Peace Process, so you can type in that and search that. And Instagram, I'm on Instagram as well. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok, YouTube.
You cover all social media platforms, which is so good that people can reach out to you and connect.
They can just Google me and they'll find me. But I'm not so active on some of them anymore. It depends what I'm doing. I haven't been very active on YouTube or LinkedIn lately.
It takes time,
It does, and I think I think people are realizing that you just can't be everywhere all at once.
Yeah, And I asked you many questions today, and I always ask my guest speakers for listeners a message in terms if they wanted to do something or wanna to start their business or change something in their life, just before we ramp up our call today, just to encourage them to move forward and connect with you, that you can help them to discover. And also I think that they can connect with you and you have some kind of consultation or something like that.
Absolutely. And I can also refer and send them to to people that I know that can help them with things as well. So I guess my message really is, whatever it is that is in your soul that's calling you, go do it. Go do it. You're here to experience joy and not to just get up and live like a robot, right? You're here to experience joy and fun and adventure. And there's so much opportunity out there for you to do that, and to also be of service to other people if that is part of your passion and what lights you up. So my advice would be just go do it. Take that first step, even if it's just researching or calling someone or getting onto social media and finding the groups that align with you. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to yourself, and everything else will work out.
and naturally you will find someone who will come to you, encourage you, to help you to move forward. And just try. Never give up. Just try. If you don't try, you never know how it's going to be.
Oh, absolutely. I've tried so many things that haven't worked, but they were fun.
Today it was lovely, Trish Rock. Trish, it was such a pleasure talking to you and have you on podcast, KSM podcast today. I'm so honored to have you and what else today. And thank you so much for being my special guest speaker.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful to be here as well, and grateful for Vanessa for referring me to you. And I think you're doing amazing work as well. So for the people listening, wanting to get started online, you're definitely the one to go see. So
thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, Vanessa, for connection. And see you very soon on other episodes, maybe to the end of the year, maybe next year. Thank you so much, and see you soon, and have a great day. Bye for now. Goodbye.